Hello there, my name is James and welcome to yet another generically generic top 10 list. Love is here, love is there, love is nearly everywhere. So you know I'm a complete sucker for romance, whether it be in cheesy books like these ones, or in classic Hollywood films like An Affair to Remember, Casablanca, Sabrina, When Harry Met Sally, Sleepless in Seattle, etc, etc, etc. But most importantly, in video games. So I like to discuss my favourite character developing love stories in video games, ones that either tug my heartstrings like a harp or left love in my tummy with a tiny little pain. So these are my top 10 romances in video games. Oh, and spoilers. Beginning at number 10 comes my first encounter of two separate beings entwining as one. Everyone at a young age witnessed love somehow, whether watching Titanic or any Disney film on the TV, controlling Link on his merry journey to rescue Princess Zelda. The same with Mario saving Princess Toadstool. Or maybe even...
Love is like oxygen. What? Love is a many splendid thing.
Please no. But the first romance that foresaw my eyes in a game was Hunter and Bianca from Spyro 3. Bianca starts off as the antagonist, working for the evil sorceress and doing her dirty deed by stealing all the dragon eggs. Over the course of time, Bianca starts to reveal her clumsiness, mostly with her spell casting, but also knows her heart is in the wrong place and delves deeper, disagreeing with the sorceress's goal. Meanwhile, Spyro and Hunter pursue on getting all the dragon eggs, but Hunter can't resist thinking she's kinda cute and adores her clumsy charm. And later on, when Hunter is captured by the sorceress, Bianca grows to his dumbness and they fall in love by the end. It might be the least bonded relationship on the list, but in some regards, I like that both their clumsiness and faults connect to a perfect match, even if Hunter's a leopard and Bianca's a rabbit. In reality, that kind of story would be a bit more savage. It's entertaining seeing Hunter distracted by Bianca's cuteness, but is still determined to help her out in a perilous situation. He doesn't care if Spyro has a massive feud with her, he just likes her, and nothing is stopping him from it. When Bianca turns apologetic later on, that seals the deal. Seeing them get together near the fireworks makes you feel happy for them, and they continue their relationship in the later games. Some might say Spyro and Allura would work well too, but although I see a small spark, a hint of romance wasn't 100% confirmed, whereas Hunter and Bianca truly showed their bonding care. Distant relationships are a challenge, whether it be 10 kilometers away, 10 miles away, 10 countries away, or planets afar. They can work out, it just requires the people in the relationship to be dedicated towards keeping in touch. Sending letters, using social media, video logs, SOS, whatever it takes to keep your faraway love interest interested. And for those that are in that situation, I salute you. Wear that gold badge like a champion. So let's take off into space eons away from our love in Lost Planet 3. We've seen how it is being away from someone we love for so long. This is Moon from 2008, losing yourself as much as others. Interstellar, losing time with others. The second half of Final Fantasy VI, being separated to what feels like the world splitting in half. Well, it does split in half. Dead Space, oh wait, maybe not that one. Going back to Lost Planet 3, we take the role of Jim Payton, who enrolls into a voyage via Ice Planet to mine a resource known as thermal energy, which could be the source of generating Earth's health bar back up. Other plot scenarios occur that I don't think we really care about. Where's the point? Well, from this averagely mediocre title comes a brief little blossom of husband and wife bantering between Jim and his wife Grace. As Jim rides his mech, there will be occasions where Grace sends him a video log every now and then to keep up to date with things, and Jim messages back like the good, bearded Nicolas Cage man he is. They joke, they make sure not to have their vlogs 20 minutes long, and get straight to the point. The way they communicate to each other tells that they've had a long history and pursue at their jobs far apart, not distracting one another whatsoever. It might not be the greatest dialogue in the world, but it is sincere, and when issues do arise and Grace begins to worry, you can bet there's more to them than just a few back and forth one-liners. It was more believable than Isaac and Nicole from Dead Space anyway.
Hey darling, hi. So I'm just gonna decide that it's not weird to be having a one-way conversation with you. Not weird at all. Yeah. Oh hey, I thought you might need some music up there to keep you sane, keep you thinking of home, so there's a playlist for me attached to this message. Hopefully it all magically works and you can play it as soon as your rig's up and running. Okay, that's it for now. Just let me know you got there in one piece, okay? See you all ready.
Up next, we're entering the zone of chosen romance, where the main character we play as has lots of decisions to make throughout the course of the game, including the love of their life. This is the BioWare games like Mass Effect and Dragon Age, growing relationships with your squad and crew, or finding a random NPC within a crowd to fall deeply, like in Fable. As much as I love some Garrus Vakarian / Morrigan action, the go-to choice for chosen romance goes to the Witcher series, my choice originally being Triss, but I prefer the route of Geralt and Yennefer. Now, don't get me wrong, Triss is fan-blooming-tastic, and in some regards Geralt and Triss's romance isn't too bad at all, although I quite prefer unicorns over lighthouses. When you think about it, Triss is a troll. Not a literal troll, just a... you know what I mean. Yennefer and Triss were the best of girl buds. Geralt and Yen were a thing, but when Geralt of Rivia gained the classic cliche of amnesia, Triss took him all for herself, and they had some good times in the second game.
You could use a bath.
So could you.
Yeah. My first playthrough of Witcher 3 was choosing Triss, and I really liked the way it all settled in that route. But Yennefer, although she may be mean-spirited and super-duper serious, she really shows a fair amount of affection for Geralt. You can tell that she endearingly loves him, and making Geralt fall head over heels for Yen creates a touching romance, like you feel it was meant to be rather than generic sex by a lake. They argue, they fight, they banter, and pick on each other. There's different opinions between them both, but past all that, there's some mighty affection and care, and by the end, showcases how much they were meant to be together. That's why I went with them. Who am I kidding, most of you guys cared about the sex, am I right? For number 7, I'm driving for a passionate couple, but also a pair that coordinate like a team. Here comes the title where you shoot Nazis in space, known as Wolfenstein The New Order. Out of all the things I expected from The New Order, like shooting Nazis, mega shoot guns, mega dog Nazis, and killing Nazis, I was not expecting a brilliant storyline campaign, varied and interesting side characters, including a non-bland chemistry between the main character BJ Blazkowicz and Anya. After crap hits the fan in the beginning of the game, Blazkowicz is put through a 14-year coma treated by Anya and her father. During this course of time, BJ gives a magnificent monologue about her taking good care of him.
I've seen all this. Good folks made powerless. I'm alive because of these people. I'm getting better because of her. Her name is Anya. She takes good care of me. She takes care of everyone. She holds this place together. Supposed to be married by now, but hasn't happened.
Even more crap hits the fan to the point of crap being flung all over the room when Nazis begin to terrorize Anya's family. BJ awakens from that coma and unleashes his full Nazi-killing carnage. Later through the game, BJ and Anya join forces with an underground resistance, and from there, they all start to work together to finish the Nazi reign of terror. Anya supports BJ through telecommunications and updates on progress, whereas BJ guns and knives at everything in his way. Whenever they're together in a certain scene, you can feel the small sense of passion between them, but they make sure not to have the lovey-dovey stuff get in the way from their jobs. They do share their small moments, sometimes brief kisses, mostly full-on passion with no remorse. The sex is not for the sake of sex for them though. When Blazkowicz says this line, you know their love is for real.
I want this. With you. Like this. Always.
It will happen, William. Believe it.
Finish up your dirty laundry. We're leaving.
But not today.
When it comes to the last mission, their final farewell and separation definitely leaves them incomplete, yet still on task with what's at hand, and by the end, you want them to meet again by its conclusion. Then the sequel came out, and the romance between the two got even better than ever before, but I don't want to mention any of it because of spoilers. Do you ever hate being awkward? I know I do, I get it a fair amount. I might not sound like I'm awkward, mostly because I'm confident with speaking out aloud by myself in a room. But you haven't seen anything till I'm near a girl I dig, and try to at least spout out elegant structured sentences. Now imagine two beings who both dig each other but pertain to their awkwardness. Think of nearly every Woody Allen movie or every film Michael Cera is in. So whenever I think of the word awkward towards the video game form, I immediately point to Otakon and Naomi in Metal Gear Solid 4. Now there's plenty of decent couples in the Metal Gear series. Big Boss and Ava, Raiden and Rose, sort of. Solid Snake and Meryl. Oh wait, Snake, I'm so sorry, I forgot she went with a guy called Jeremy who had some form of diarrhea and actually turned out hot. I jest. So Otakon has had to deal with a lot of stuff. His sister was killed by a villain called Vamp, he has to help Snake with his rapid aging, and he wet himself one time. On Naomi's side, she's dying. Yeah, that's gonna lead somewhere magical, right? Oh god. Well, before that, in the Act 3 mission briefing, Otakon and Naomi share a scene where they just talk. Try to talk anyway, about Sunny and her OG egg-making skills, snippets about Otakon's hobbies like being an anime otaku, his desire to get his revenge on Vamp for what he did to his sister, and it goes back and forth, all while Snake is chilling in the background, observing the awkwardness and having a nice cigarette. Naomi considers on taking data from the computers with a small USB but leaves it be as their conversation continues. I swear through their talks, there's more stroppy pauses than I've ever had in my lifetime of talking to humans. I like their romance though, for some reason. I might be bagging on it a lot, but I just want to see them together. Probably because I want something good to happen for Otakon after all the shite that occurred in previous games, and Naomi seems to be compatible towards him. I mean, they're both doctors for Nanomachine's sake, and the urge through one single scene of them being close to kissing twice services that as well. Oh well, they got to have a good time in a helicopter though. Then tragedy strikes as Naomi ends her life as she was pretty much not supposed to be even alive at that point, and oh god, as cheesy as this scene and dialogue is, I feel the pain of Otakon. He lost another person that he loved, and could have loved furthermore. He had to sit there and watch her die from his lonesome computer screen and not be able to hold her again in his arms. Holy shit, Kojima, give this guy a break, give him a Kit Kat of all things. As a matter of fact, give this whole game a Kit Kat. Game is depressing as fuck. We've looked upon distant relationships that require both in that ship to provide dedication to keep the ship sailing, but what if we upscaled it a touch? What if a man/woman lost their love and wanted to do the impossible, bringing him/her back to life? And the only way to do so is basically make a deal with the devil himself and do his dirty deeds. Are you nuts? Who would do such a thing? Tell that to Wanda from Shadow of the Colossus on his battle to take down 16 Colossi so his deceased love Mono can awaken once more. I don't know about you, but that's some pure determination for revitalizing the love of your life. Well, that's the thing, you don't exactly know if they were lovers. There's no backstory about Wanda and Mono except for Mono being granted with a curse that bakes her as a sacrifice. If you put your mind in a pot of sap, then we can call this determined love. Wanda literally goes out of his way killing such magnificently beautiful mythical colossi for Mono to come back. It's kind of disheartening taking them down. Sure, they were a massive feat to deal with, but they didn't start the fire. Wanda did. You question if killing all these beasts are worth it. Think about it. Defeating 16 colossi, a lot of black evil toxics surging through the body and mind each kill, all for resurrecting one girl that was doomed with a curse. Holy shit, thinking about it in your own footsteps really makes this difficult. I mean, come on, you think with me. Think about the person you love the most in the world. You'd do anything for them. Maybe not kill 16 colossi, but close enough to that goal to bring them back. Would you do it? Romance doesn't have to be this love me, love you stuff. Love can push to reach new heights, and oh god, Wanda does in many aspects. He puts his life on the line for Mono, and sadly, it kind of ends tragically. The deed is done, but all the black tentacle ooze possesses Wanda into a demon, and Depression Boulevard enters as Mono still doesn't awake when he fights. She does awaken, leaving Wanda as a baby, and yeah, I have nothing on that. All the effort was worth it? Nathan Drake and Elena from the Uncharted series. It was impossible to not include them on the list, and I know a few would tend to agree with me. You could call their relationship a bantering crusade because through this series, they constantly back and forth each other in both comical fashion and even in serious situations. It's a connection that shouldn't work at all, yet does. All the fighting, bickering and complaining is all made up when they roll with jokes, reflect on things, and when they work as a team on saving the world from a certain ancient doom. Most people would have dug Chloe, and I think Nathan on the inside believes that.
But admit it, you're gonna miss this ass.
Anyway, Elena is a cunning journalist that isn't afraid of going a step further for some documentation, is very confident, but knows when the peril is not worth the extra step, and she enjoys making her point and making fun of Nathan. Nate is the adventure, puzzle-solving comedic boy with a heart. They do worry for each other through the progression of the quadrilogy, and in Uncharted 2 it really sums up their relationship when the stakes rise and Elena gets majorly injured during the climax.
Oh no.
Elena. Oh god, no. Elena, hold on, alright? Just hold on. Come on, stay with us. You're gonna be okay, alright? You're gonna be fine. You're gonna be just fine. Elena, don't do this.
Then ending to this.
So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how scared were you that I was gonna die?
4.
4?
Yeah, why?
A 4.
Yeah.
You were at least an 8.
An 8?
You were a total 8.
An 8? Those guardian things were an 8.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, those were terrifying.
What's a 10?
Clowns?
Clowns over my death?
I hate
Clowns?
clowns. I hate clowns.
It works like a charm. When they're in the moment of adventure, it's reminiscent of the romances in Romancing the Stone and Raiders of the Lost Ark. Honestly, wouldn't it be nice to see a movie or expanded game where these characters just talk? No adventure, no villains, just talking and trying to live together. I'd enjoy it because I kind of like these romance films, such as the Before trilogy. But anywho, what so cares? Nathan and Elena would work as the ultimate bantering couple, and you enjoy and adore their screen time. Then again, I feel there could be something going on between Nate and Sully. Sometimes we want to live on forever and ever with our loved one for the rest of eternity, but what if that was the case? Say hello to Lost Odyssey, a grand JRPG that I absolutely recommend for all you RPG lovers. Just be prepared for 4 discs worth of content. You play as Kaim, an immortal man who's lived for over 1,000 years and through his years has had a bad case of remembering any memory from the past. Only with reflections and stories told to him does he remember old loves of his life, friends and attachments he's grown along his way of life. He found love and had families, but at the cost of immortality, grew past his sons and daughters through centuries of history. For the story, I don't really want to spoil much of anything because there's some pivotal scenes that tighten your heart with major emotions. When you meet Cook and Mac, Kaim's 2 grandchildren, you know what I mean. It's quite a tearjerker, especially when reading the 1,000-Year Dreams. The focus romance is Kaim and Sarah. Sarah is Kaim's wife halfway through the story. They're reconnected after essentially saving her from a sorceress's mansion. Every moment they share is engaging to watch, and you can feel the history behind them both. But their focus on saving Cook and Mac is what makes their determination between each other special. Through a hectic portion of the story, Kaim and Sarah are out to save their family, which I adore, and even if it doesn't go down so well, there's an ending that will put you into a happy state and feel grateful you embarked on this adventure with all the characters in the game, even if some of the plot gets a bit too much. I'm not doing this game any favors, but check it out and have tissues at the ready. Have you seen any film where two people start hating each other but by the second or third act kind of connect their mismatched puzzle? Well, I've seen enough of that. You could refer to that in the Uncharted series, but I find that to be more banter than full-on hate. Think of movies like 10 Things I Hate About You, When Harry Met Sally, Romancing the Stone, and even Prince of Persia, the Sands of Time movie. But the movie could never dare surpass the video game's best hate-love romance ever. You play as the Prince of Persia, and the story portrays a war which eventually changes into a supernatural time combustion filled with sand. Evil Jafar Man wants to conquer and succeed, and it's up to the prince, who acquires a dagger that rewinds time, and Farah to stop Evil Jafar from turning the world into sand monster chaos. So the prince is a spoiled brat that easily complains about lots of things, and honestly has a mind that won't stop talking. It's brilliant. Then there's Farah, who is heroic, determined, and knows what she is doing. For the course of the game, they have to work together to save the kingdom both through cutscene and gameplay. There'll be parts where you play as Farah to assist the prince in something he couldn't do himself, making their journey a team effort. The best moment of the game is when the prince complains about Farah whilst platforming his way about, solving puzzles, etc. But gradually, his inner monologues transfer from complaining and hate to questioning and turning his wheel into a liking buzz. The more they talk to each other and treat each other in a more serious, civilized manner, the more they bond and give a damn for each other. Like in this scene.
When I was small, my mother taught me a secret word. She said that when I was afraid, all I had to do was speak that word, and a magic door would open. I've never told that to anybody.
I can see why. It's the most childish thing I've ever heard of. What was the word?
Kakolukiam.
Kakolukia.
It kind of ends tragically when she dies. You feel the loss not only for yourself, but the prince as well. But the prince reverts back time to the very beginning of the story, putting an end to the story before it even starts by defeating Evil Jafar, who started it all. Yep, that's a fun thing to process. Sadly, it can't go to the old ways, as she doesn't know the prince all too well. He gives her a kiss and she refuses it. The prince reverts her back again and says this iconic line.
Wait! I don't even know your name.
Just call me Kakolukia.
Now that is brilliant stuff. At number 1 we have Jackie and Jenny from The Darkness. We all enjoy a grand spectacle of a happy ending in all our romantic media and books, but sometimes a romance story is more interesting when you don't get what you want. This is the tragic love story I'm talking about. Think of Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, 500 Days of Summer, Comet, Last Day of June, and even some of my choices on the list like Otakon and Naomi in MGS4, and Wanda and Mono in Shadow of the Colossus. They all portray an element of tragedy. The Darkness, though, it takes the cake. It's Jackie's 21st birthday, and on this merry day, he's gifted with darkness powers that meld into his mind and sometimes take control. His Uncle Polly wants him dead because of a money deal gone wrong, and everybody is out to get him. With all this darkness, there is a light. And that light is Jenny, a girl that he's known since he was a kid at an orphanage. They know each other very well. In the briefest of moments, they erupt with love, so much so that it makes the darkness feel sick from her innocence. She can tell when he's not in the right place, but sticks through with him to the end. One of the best moments in gaming has to be when Jackie and Jenny just sit down and watch a movie. Such a simple everyday thing to do is calming, relaxing, and lets you breathe after all the gun shooting beforehand, but it mostly shows they care. I mean, look at this dialogue option. Oh my god. But by the end of Act 1, everything goes to hell when Uncle Paulie kidnaps Jenny and does the worst thing to do to Jackie. The weight of this part is heart-wrenching. The motion of Jackie falling to his knees gets me every time. For the rest of the game, Jenny always hits into Jackie's heart and memories that pound his emotions to get revenge on Uncle Paulie, and when it happens, he gets one more final moment with her. One shining light before he returns to the darkness. And those were my favourite romances in the video game department. Now, please, by all means, put down your favourite gaming relationships, whether it be the characters from the game or someone that you've met by playing video games. I'd love to hear them in the comments below. Anyway, you know what my name is, blah, 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 blah. And if you'll excuse me, I'm going to watch Roman Holiday, starring Audrey Hepburn and Gregory Peck. Alone. I don't see any other chicks around here, do you? Hello? Hello? Nope. Bye bye.